Coming up, a Sad Styles production. Get into it!
Okay, Andrew, so I need to get this out of the way now. I know we're doing The Lion King, but you need to know, I know you know this about me. It's going to be hard for me to talk about it. This movie is a very emotional movie for me.
Well, it's very emotional.
If I get to certain points in the...
Oh, God, you're already crying? You're good. Stay strong. It's okay. What were you saying? Yeah, everyone cried to this movie when they were a kid.
Crying? No, I don't cry. No, I just I had a sneeze coming on.
Yeah, it's okay to admit that you were sad about this movie. It's
Don't show me love right now, Andrew.
Oh boy,
I can't handle that.
How can I best support you in this moment?
You want to support me?
Yeah, because this is making me tremendously uncomfortable.
Will you help me with my math homework, maybe?
Homework? You are in your 30s.
I'll go back to school for it. I need to rewrite some things. Not just term papers.
This is like some weird Arrested Development thing. This is bringing you back to when you were a kid.
Oh, no, I was, you are right. There's Job's here. Michael's here.
No, not the TV show Arrested Development.
Will you watch it with me and finally tell me that you do like my sense of humor?
Maybe the first half. Second half we can get to in some time.
Okay. I'm just, before I cue into the episode, I'm thinking maybe, okay, here's how we'll do the intro of the podcast.
Tell me how we're going to do it.
And it's just going to be very scripted.
Easy.
So I'm just going to tell you what to do, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to, eventually I'm going to say, Lion King on the Sega Genesis this week on the right before I do that, you're gonna say and we're just gonna go because we're actually running out of tape. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what to do and then you have to do it right away.
On tape.
Okay, yeah, it's reel to reel.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to do this. Okay, just look me dead in the eyes and say,
you in the eye.
Mikey, I'm proud of you.
I don't know. That makes me really uncomfortable. Don't make me say that.
Andrew's uncomfortable with me as we take a look at Lion King on the Sega Genesis this week on the Retrograde podcast.
Just stop crying. I do sound like your dad. Welcome to the Retrograde
podcast, where we remind you what you used to love and whether or not you still should.
I'm Andrew Bascom, and with me as always is the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop himself,
Rafiki Aaronworth.
Fantastic. Great start to the episode. I love this.
Who is your favorite Lion King character to start us off?
It's a good question. They're all very good.
Mm-hmm. All of them?
Is Elton John on the table?
Elton John is the correct answer to this question.
Elton John. Yeah, absolutely.
What a character he is.
Oh my goodness, what a character indeed. Are you going to watch that? They did the concert series, like his last concert ever, which first of all,
they've said that a couple times, right. I think. Yeah,
100%. He's been doing that since
he's touring with the Rolling Stones next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they recorded the last leg of that tour in LA.
Okay.
And they recorded it and put it on Disney Plus.
Oh.
You going to watch that?
I don't know if I need to, honestly. Just because I've heard the stories of what Elton John used to be like at concerts.
On cocaine.
On cocaine,
yeah.
Indeed. And I just don't know that he can hold up to it. I've seen his more recent performances. I don't know. I don't think I need to. But the reason why we're talking about Elton John, obviously, was because we kicked off from our Lion King conversation, which is the reason is if you listen to us last week, we ranked the top 10 video games based on movies. I've been messing that up since you messed it up so many times on the podcast. It's been really in my head. Hey. We all make mistakes.
Boy, do we.
Some would say it's starting a podcast
5 years ago. Yeah,
almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
But we decided during that recording that we were going to pick one of the games that we decided that was on both of our lists that we hadn't played.
Right.
We were going to do it for the following week, this week on the podcast, and we decided on The Lion King from 1994 on the Sega Genesis. It was also available on the Super Nintendo, eventually ported to MS-DOS, the Amiga, I think the Game Boy, the NES, and the Game Gear as well.
Oh, very good. You pulled it out.
It kind of ran the gamut.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all over the place. We're going to be talking about that game all week long or all episode long. But before we do that, we're going to get into a little bit of gaming nonsense from the likes of Dinky Boy Andy, little Dinky Andy, and Big Boy Mikey. Yeah, what?
Just catching strays. Just complete innocent bystander.
No, Stray we did on the podcast a while ago.
Yeah, what do you think about that? You gave it a good review. Do you think that held up? Is that going to be in your top 10 favorite things of the year?
You say that as though it wouldn't. I think
of course not.
Why not?
It wasn't that good of a game.
It was a very good game.
Oh boy.
It was a very good game, everybody. But that week we broke format a little bit because typically what we do on the podcast is take a look back at the games that we used to play when we were kids. Usually it's something we had an affinity towards one way or another. We rate and review the games as we remember them when we played them as kids, and we actually play the game, show you all that gameplay over on YouTube, and then we come back and rate and review the game once again out of 4 bits, this time on how the game holds up in the modern day against like some modern games. Doesn't that sound freaking cool?
That does sound freaking cool, and it's been a couple weeks since we've done it, and I'm excited to be back.
It is. It's the format that we started the show on, but we found as we've been going more and more, we run out of popular games that both you and I have played, and plus we found that we've had some success doing some modern games and some realizations of retro games in the modern era. So we bring these things up and we try to change the format a little bit. But I agree. I love going back to the way we used to do things, and we try to make the retro great again.
Yeah, we used to make things in this country.
Yes, we did used to make things in this country.
Not anymore. Now these top 10 lists. Next week, top 10 list.
Top 10.
Top 10 are favorite things of the year.
Favorite everything, by the way.
Yes.
So it's less.
I love, by the way, it's something I really look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, I love
that episode.
Andrew, you were telling me that you put your, you kind of track the best things that you watch throughout the year on a spreadsheet.
I am a psychopath.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's weird. It is one of the weirder things I do, but I do. I track.
You turn off the lights and like make sure you're alone in the room before you do it.
Yeah. And if anyone comes in, I'm like, stop, don't come in here. I'm tracking what I watched. And so all TV and movies, I track what I watched, and the number is staggering this year.
I found, in general, and we can get into this more next week,
sure.
But to tease the listeners a little bit, to edge them a little bit.
Yeah, to put a little ice cube on their nipples.
Ooh, okay, all right. Fuck the police indeed.
I always think about the 98 Degrees music video where she pours wax on his chest, and he's like,
on his chest.
And he's like, that hurts. But only for a second, and then, but you know what? No, I'm good.
You know what? My chest is too hairy.
Yeah.
You'd
have to like trim it out, like with hedges, like head shears.
No thanks. Head shearing.
Head shearing.
That's what happens when you go to a bad barber. You get your head shearing.
Okay. This David Byrne band is also a popular Irish redheaded singer.
Talking head shearing.
Yes, very good. All right, there we go.
Before and after. To tease the listeners, to edge them a little bit, like the 98 degrees
video. I don't know if I brought that up recently. Yeah.
In general, we had a lot of people talking about how great the lineup of video game releases were supposed to be this year.
Supposed to be.
In terms of mediums, what do you think reigned supreme overall? Movies, TV, video games, music?
I think it's TV. And it's only because there is just so much television being made right now. That is predominantly where the budgets have gone for a lot of movies. A lot of things that were supposed to be movies are now TV shows. And now we have all these streaming services that are trying to prop themselves up. And so they're trying to all have their tent poles. Oh my God, we need to have this big thing. And for that reason, I think it was just like a really good year for television. There's a lot of good television. And so much so next week when we do the top 10, our favorite things of the year, I will read to you all the TV shows I watched this year.
You'll read to me?
I'll read to you. I'm like, everyone gather around. I'm gonna
Good Night Loon.
Good Night Loon.
I'll Love You Forever.
Yeah.
You could. What else can you? Amelia Bedelia.
Right.
Maybe a Harry Potter book.
Right. I never read Harry Potter.
You didn't?
No.
Now is a great time to start.
Yeah.
Now is a great time to start.
You know what? Everyone has now painted that thing about like anyone that is not an English descendant in that book, like not of English, whatever upbringing. Their names are incredibly weird and slanted, and you're like, oh, I guess we should have seen this come.
Well, it's hard not to notice these things as you start to pay more attention. And another show that we might be talking about next week a little bit is Andor. And I know we're not talking about video games yet. We will get into it, but just to kind of set this up because we are coming towards the end of the year, there are elements of Andor where I'm like, so in this galaxy far, far away, there's still Jewish ghettos a lot. That's just a bunch of that's still a thing that we're dealing with.
100%.
Yeah. Jewish moms are still very Jewish. This is like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no. You're like, wow, that's not going to die anytime soon, eh?
No.
Except it's in the past. It's a long time ago.
That's true.
Just keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah. How far they've come. Yeah. What do you think modern day Star Wars galaxy looks like? If that's a long time ago.
Oh God, that hurts my head so bad. Sweden? I don't know.
I bet you there's like 40 genders there.
J.K. Rowling is freaking out right now.
J.K. Rowling in her grave nowadays. So did you say, mediums, you said television?
I think it has to be television just because of the it's just so many options at this point. What do you think?
I think you're probably right. Yeah. I do. I think weirdly video games had kind of a lackluster year in a lot of ways.
Right.
And I think a lot of people initially will hate me for saying that. But we'll get into maybe my thoughts on why next week and
they'll
say
hate
some
you.
of the
For saying
more than
that.
usual.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes,
exactly. Also for saying that. Yeah.
Exactly. By the way, we had last week, as we talked about, our movies based on, or video games based on movies.
Thank you.
How often do you have video games based on TV shows?
Whoa,
can you think of any?
Question. I think I played a CSI
there's definitely a CSI one.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great question.
Right? There's got to be a bunch. Better Call Saul.
Oh, I wish.
I bet you a lot more than were like promotional Flash games. Oh, South Park. You got some South Park ones.
Yeah, you do have South Park. That's a good call. Okay, what else?
Do you want to go back to Christian puns like we did a couple weeks ago? Man, we had a lot of love for our Christian puns. A lot of people writing in and by the way, for the end of the episode, don't let me forget, I've got it in my notes, but we do have another 3 sentences to You Might Guess the Game, aka Test Your Might, coming up, where we have to guess the plot of a game, guess a game based on a 3-sentence vague summary of that game, which, by the way, for those of you who listen to both the Retrograde podcast and Get Played, with Nick Weiger, Matt Apodaca, and Heather Ann Campbell. We came up with the idea first. They do that now on the podcast. Yeah, but we came up with it first.
I think we need to write a strongly worded email.
Which will never be read because we're not on the radar.
Maybe on the show.
maybe on the show. Yeah. We'll leave them a voicemail as they'd like. Andrew, catch me up with your experiences in Norse mythology, can you?
Yes. Ragnarok is upon us, everybody. I'm almost done God of War Ragnarok, and I only know that because a future guest on the show and I were just talking literally 30 minutes ago before I started about he had finished the game.
Ooh.
And so I said, I am here. How close am I? And he goes, you are very close. And I'm like,
okay.
Thank God. Not thank God, because not because I'm not enjoying it, but there is a relief in finishing games. You'll learn that one day. and I'm just so excited to not feel like this is why I finish games. Actually, take some notes. This is why I finish games, because I get blindly devoted to this one thing and like a maniac just desperately try to finish it, not enjoying the game, not walking around, not smelling the roses, no side missions, just trying to finish the game, especially when I feel that the end is nigh.
End is nigh.
Yeah. 100%. And since I know the end is nigh, Bill Nye, and is that
I'm trying to follow it.
It's tough. Yeah. Since I know it's close, I'm now going to, since I now know
it's
since
nigh.
I now that the end is nigh, I am going to, I don't feel so good.
Andrew, you are flush.
I don't feel great, man.
I've been tweaking the camera settings for a while because I thought I was just looking at the camera. People know when we record this, I refuse to look you in the eyes. It's like a wild bear situation.
You also have a pan that you're hitting all the time.
I have a jacket that makes myself look real big. That's why if you've ever been listening to this podcast, we usually don't edit anything. The only time we do have to edit stuff is when I've gone to play dead in the fetal position because Andrew's
just pawing at you. I'm like, hey, end is nigh. So now I know that the game is almost over. I'm going to probably just finish it this week. So probably next week, by the time we're talking about our 10 favorite things, I can confidently speak about this game that I probably have finished because I'm really enjoying it.
That's great.
It's a really great game. It's beautiful. It has not been as annoying as I remember these games in the past, and I say that in the best positive way. You know what I mean? If that is going to be the one negative, that there is often repeated enemies or repeated situations that you're being put in, I didn't find that to be as bad this time. That's cool. So I'm really excited to be finishing it.
Have you been taking your time and like exploring the game, or is it more of a mainline situation? You know what's funny?
I find myself it's like a give and take situation where I go to what did you say that I just ran through?
No, nothing.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. By the way, that's usually what I. Oh, you find the main vein, which of course is a penis.
Yeah, I shoot heroin straight into my dick.
Nice. Chase the Dragon gets a whole different thing, eh? So what happens is I'll beat a level or I'll get to a level, and if it's a tremendous struggle, I'm like, all right, side mission time. Trying to boost ourselves up. And then you get back in there, you're like, oh no, I'm good. I'm back to level where I'm supposed to be.
Okay, interesting. So let's I want to pull on that thread a little bit because my commitment before we do our final episode of our top 10 episode is to finish Elden Ring. I am very close.
When did that come out? 2014?
Man, I don't even know if I can remember back that far. And generally speaking, I don't know if I was born when that game came out. But 110 hours in so far.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot.
Holy shit.
And here's the thing is I'll reserve my thoughts until next week because I've already said quite a bit about it. But one thing that this game definitely does require of you, which is unlike most FromSoft games, is a little bit of grinding. And now grinding is often attributed to or associated with the idea of like killing rats in a field or something like that in an MMO. Go just like, if you've seen the South Park episode where they make fun of World of Warcraft.
Funny episode.
Go into a forest, kill a bunch of wild boars, make a little bit of experience and build yourself up. Grinding happens a bit more organically in a game like Elden Ring because you go on a side mission or you just go explore, and that is part of playing the game. The game isn't just the main story, and I think in that sense, grinding, quote unquote, is a lot more forgivable. Do you find that's the same thing in God of War, or are there fields to go out into and
no, there
slay
aren't.
proverbial boars?
You know what? Okay, wait, there are, but I don't think it's I can't wait for someone to tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think in a traditional sense you can just go around and go like, oh, there's goblins, time to kill them.
Sure.
I think people show up as enemies strategically when you know you're going in the right path, towards a mission or towards a whatever venture. I think they're called favors. There's other stuff like that. So
I've heard that.
Yeah,
quests are favors. You do favors
it's
for
people like asking you things. It is so funny though.
Will you pick up a pack of cigarettes for me on your way over to Nilfgaard?
Okay, Nilfgaard is a thing, but it is funny you say that because there are some of these characters that have clearly been around since the beginning of God of War. I don't know that because I didn't play a ton of God of War as a kid, but you could tell because their voice acting and the characters just do not align with the way that the current game is.
Yes.
That takes itself very seriously.
Nothing about past God of War aligns with what you're doing now.
No, it's the last game and this game, and that's the new chapter of God of War. But it's just like, you get this like what's his name? Brock, whatever his name is, the blue guy, little short blue guy.
He's got his eyes closed. He hits on nurses. He has an onyx. No,
you're thinking of Brock, the Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, is he not in
different
that game?
guy, different guy.
Because he wouldn't fit quite with the tone of God of War either.
No, he wouldn't. Well,
so
I don't know.
Technically speaking, I'm not wrong in saying
I didn't say you're wrong.
Maybe it's Brock.
I didn't say you're wrong. I was just thinking of this little blue. I'm going to go with Goblin again. He helps fix tools for you, weapons, things like that. In some levels, he has
Dobby.
No, that's a house elf from House of
Cards.
George R. R. Martin. Another.
Yeah, he's the Goblin from House of Cards, played by Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, taps his ring to the table a couple times. I hope Frank Underwood comes back for a Christmas message. He does it every year.
It is. I really let him be Frank.
Let him be Frank. Oh, guys, why can we not stop being Frank?
We gotta stop being Frank. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, it's okay.
Brock the Pokemon trainer.
Brock the Pokemon trainer is helping sell me goods, and behind him sometimes there is a sassy Southern woman that is always like, "Have you come and picked up that thing recently?" And you're like, "Who the fuck is this?"
A Southern woman?
Yeah, she's got a sassy like Southern drawl to her voice.
Because that I don't think is from the original God of War.
I gotta tell you, just only because Brock, whatever his name is,
the Pokemon trainer.
His attitude is so comical that I'm like, this doesn't fit. This guy must have been around for a while. I have no idea who this guy is.
No, but Brock wasn't.
He isn't?
No.
Okay, then this is just a swing and a miss then. I don't know. It's just when they try and be funny every once in a while, you're like, that character is coming on for comedy. You're like, oh, no. No, I'm good.
That's what happens when you like really plant your flag firmly in the serious camp, right? Then trying to bring humor to it is almost doesn't quite work.
There is humor when you make fun of Kratos because Kratos is such a ridiculous character,
right?
That there's like there's an exchange where you and the kid are in the like I don't know, dog sled or boat, doesn't matter, and he goes, what's your favorite weapon? And Kratos is like, it's not, they're tools, they're not about favorites, whatever kind of thing. And then he's like, mine's the axe. And then there's silence. He goes, mine is also the axe.
That's amazing.
And you're like, that's comedy. Really that's
really
funny.
Yeah.
It's not when you're like, that son of a bitch, I have a problem with it. Like, yeah, fuck off. Like, that's ridiculous.
Slapstick, slapstick doesn't quite work there.
It's a complete tonal change, whatever. I don't know how I got in this, but I'm just saying.
Does Kratos ever, because I know they have the big trolls and the big giant monsters and stuff, does he ever do the splits and punch them in the nuts like Johnny Cage would do?
Yeah, I haven't got to that part yet, but I hope it's at a climactic part of the story.
Well, someone's climaxing when that happens, for sure.
Like, obviously, we know we're doing Norse mythology, so there's like big wolves in this, right?
Oh.
You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really want him to punch a wolf in the nuts while doing the splits.
Well,
like
see, that would be tough. That would
like
be
speed bags it.
So in this,
and the dog goes cross-eyed,
and then he falls, and his tongue rolls out of his mouth. And he's got little Tweety birds.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, Kratos is behind the wolf.
Okay.
Has to be.
No, I was thinking he was through his front legs. And so then he's underneath.
Laying down underneath the wolf?
So yeah, he's underneath the wolf. He's in between the front.
On his hands and knees?
Who's on his hands and knees? Kratos or the dog?
Kratos, because there's not a ton of space underneath a wolf.
It's a big wolf.
How big?
Oh, no. Hundreds feet?
Hundreds feet.
Centipede style? Hundreds feet.
Surgeons General,
hundreds feet. It's a huge dog. It's massive. It's 30 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Kratos can stand up underneath its belly.
Oh. You would have to reach to get to these testicles.
Like if it were raining, he could camp out under this wolf.
He could have a small New York apartment under this wolf. You could have a Monica Geller style apartment underneath this wolf. I'm trying to tell you, Mikey, you're missing out by not living under this wolf and smacking the testicles.
I can't wait to smack a wolf in the testicles. There are 2 games that I really can't wait to play prior to the end of the year, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to play them before we record. One is God of War Ragnarok, and the other is High on Life, which I'm very excited.
The Justin Roiland one,
the Justin Roiland game. I hope it's good. Have you seen much about it?
I saw something on TikTok recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, because his voice is so recognizable. I'm like, oh, this must be the game.
It looks all the joke structure seems very similar to Rick and Morty, where it's like just riff on something. Oh, no, you killed it. Oh man, I can't believe you shot him.
I saw the small clip I saw is a guy has eyes, which are 2 different bugs. And if he pulls out the bug to replace it with the other bug, they fight. The bugs fight and one eats each other, and then he puts his eye back in.
Oh.
And he's like, and the whole time doing the same thing, like, oh, these eyes, they're going to bite each other. Oh my God. Yeah. And is that not going to be tremendously annoying over a long game?
That's what worries me. If this is a 20-hour game, I don't know that I can handle it.
If I watch 22 minutes of Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty, I'm like, oh, okay, 22 minutes.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried. And if the game plays, I don't know. The game looks fantastic.
That's important.
And I'm holding out hope for it because from what I've seen, it looks good. But who knows? All I'm saying that is kind of a disclaimer that game might not be on the list, whether it deserved to be or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it came out in December. It's a little tough.
It is. Don't do that.
You're still working on a game from 2004.
4?
Yeah.
It's, you know what? Elden Ring reminds me a lot of Bloodborne because Bloodborne took me about 8 months to finish.
Yeah. Isn't that the same company?
Yeah, it is FromSoft as well, but it didn't take me 110 hours. Like I'm really trying to beat the game. Yeah.
No, I 110 hours. That's like a huge commitment.
It's a big commitment. But
can I tell you another video game thing I'm doing?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So chapter 4 or season 4.
Oh, Fortnite.
A Fortnite has started.
Season Fortnite, exactly.
Very good. And you know.
I know.
Yeah, everyone says you don't know. You know.
I've actually never played Fortnite.
That doesn't shock me.
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's down your alley. Have you ever played Warzone?
No, I have played PUBG. It's just
PUBG.
tough for me because I have Overwatch. If I'm going to play a competitive shooter, I know which one I'm going to want to play. It's always going to be that. And I know they're different. I know
they are
that,
very different.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to, I had a Twitter exchange with former guest Dario about that because he's a big Warzone guy.
Yes.
And he was like, ooh, this new Unreal Engine looks really good. I want to go play it. And I'm like, you know what? They're very different games, but they, to me, like he's talking about Warzone, accomplish the same feeling. Where I'm like, I don't have time to get into God of War, to load up, to figure out where I'm going. And missions take about, I don't know, 40 minutes or whatever it is. I just got to play a game, not think anything of it. And then at the end, put the controller down and never think of the game ever again.
Yeah.
There are those things that you need. And Fortnite still, after years now, fills that void for me.
Sure. And there's so many voids in you to fill.
Oh boy, are there. And only growing by the day. I will say the new, as of recording, it only came out a couple of days ago. So I'm still getting used to the island, but now there's dirt bikes and there's other stuff. And I'm like, man, this game just, I am always, you could put this on repeat from the last couple times. Sure. There's been a new chapter, or new season or whatever. I'm just always amazed by this game. I haven't put a single dollar into it.
That is phenomenal. And especially at a time where everyone's looking at Overwatch and their money structure and leaving the game for it. Just being like, okay, Blizzard is overreaching now with their structure of compensation or whatever you call it.
I'd say greedy.
Yeah, I think so. Bastards. And then you have someone like Overwatch or Fortnite. Now the limit is Fortnite is allowed to do things like sign a deal with Travis Scott, who puts a concert in there. You can't really do that with Overwatch.
Well, you could.
So I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what if they did? What if they opened it? Would I not want to play as Goku in Overwatch, or like a Goku skin version of McCree or something like that?
Okay, first of all, Cassidy. But yeah, second of all, no, but I agree with you. I was kind of like, well, why don't they do that? Why couldn't I get Winston in a Brazil World Cup jersey?
Sure.
Well, somebody could be like, the integrity of the game is now, fuck off. Yeah. It's a talking gorilla.
It is a talking gorilla.
Get out of here.
Watch your fucking mouth.
What is it?
Watch your fucking mouth.
Why? What did I say?
You're dismissing it like that's not really cool.
It is really cool.
Next thing you're going to say is a hamster in a rolling ball that causes a bunch of destruction is like cliched.
Okay, if I had to show one of the characters to your parents, who do you think would be like you're saying, I love this game.
Yes.
I have put in millions of hours into it.
Fuck.
This is a huge identity. Not only do I have a tattoo of it in my life, it is now fundamental to my personality.
It is.
Great.
I just felt anxious when because I pictured myself 30 years from now with a video game tattoo and a specific video game tattoo.
I love that tattoo. I think it's great. I've got much stupider ones. If I had to show your parents one character, which is the character you'd be like, oh, don't show them that one? Which is the one you'd be most self-conscious of? Like,
such a good question.
Of them like now going like, well, this is a very stupid game.
So Reaper is very over the top in terms of his like edgelordiness.
Yes.
But I feel like that's kind of what they think video games are.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I wouldn't mind if you showed them that. I honestly think maybe...
This is a mushroom club where you rank them.
Oh, seriously. Which Overwatch characters do you want to meet your parents? Honestly, Wrecking Ball, my dad might just sigh and turn away and change his number. Like, I just feel like he wouldn't...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right. The hamster is sad. And my dad would be like, I'm sad. And then he'd walk away.
Yeah. Because you got like the Reapers, Cassidy's, Hanzo, Soldier.
Yeah. Cliched in a way. Yeah.
I think even Mercy, like that looks like a video game. Sure. I'm aware of people that look like this in video games. And then you have a talking gorilla.
Yeah.
And you're like, hello, I'm very smart.
But I feel like that is a type of character like Beast from X-Men, or the smart giant mammal,
or
is like a thing.
From Beast Wars, from Transformers. Have you seen that trailer?
I saw an image of the trailer. I didn't see. Well, are you excited about it?
I loved Beast Wars as a kid.
Oh, okay.
I was a big fan.
Is Beast Wars
Transformers?
Is it Transformers?
Yes, it was a version of Transformers. So they came back in a prehistoric time. There were no cars to turn into. So they all turned into different
I didn't know that was actually related to Transformers. Yeah. I watched Beast Wars as a kid.
There's a raptor. There's lots of different characters. I loved that.
Kyle Lowry takes to the...
Yeah, it could be Kyle Lowry. You couldn't even choose a current raptor.
He's a current Raptor for life.
First of all, he's the best Raptor of all time.
We're
talking about Kyle Lowry of the Toronto Raptors, now the Miami Heat. Yeah. Just, whatever.
Fine. OG Anunoby.
OG Anunoby. You could have chosen the Rookie of the Year, Randy Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes.
Fine, Scotty Barnes.
Pascal, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. Just, Toronto Raptors.
We can do.
My season is going really well in NBA 2K.
There you go.
You didn't ask, but it's okay. I always ask him, how's your dog doing? You don't ask about my basketball team, but that's fine.
Well, my dog's playing basketball, so I figure I got my...
Really?
Yeah, there's no rules that say it can't.
There's a movie there. He becomes the next Toronto Raptor.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
God, nothing would make me happier. So Fortnite, just incredible. Still makes me very happy. And every once in a while, I'll just put it down for extended periods. Like I'm playing God of War, so I don't think about it.
Sure.
That's great. And then the new chapter comes out and I'm like, just like side-eyeing it.
But isn't that the best? Like when you kind of, you think you've had your fill and you just get called back to it, that feeling of, it's just like getting back into a warm bed and you're just like, okay, I'm ready for this now. You're like, you know what? I've had enough sleep. And then you get up and you're like, maybe I'll get another hour.
You don't feel like a guy that does that though. When you're up.
I can't do that.
So you're just describing an emotion that you'll never feel.
I did.
But you're like, sounds pretty good.
I did as a kid and I've just lost it now. But I would love to be able to just be like, it's time to go back in bed.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Oh,
yeah. No
sounds
thanks.
amazing.
You know what?
Snowing outside.
Oh, fuck. I love that.
Coffee just brews itself and you smell it and you're like, oh, life is good right now.
Life is, sorry, what did you say?
Life is good right now?
Oh, I've never heard those words.
You never heard those words out loud?
My head, it's like they went in there and my mind is just rejecting them. What did you say again?
Life is good right now.
Did you start the podcast?
Yeah, well, no, we started a while back.
You forgot to do the intro.
No, I did the intro. Oh my God, are you okay?
How'd you get in here?
Oh no. Mikey, we're going to do The Lion King today.
Oh.
So that's exciting, right? You remember The Lion King?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, right. We were going to do the intro
Timon,
where it's like
Pumbaa,
where it's like my dad, because the relationship between Simba and Mufasa, they have like a strained father-son relationship, or like Simba will perpetually never get the approval of his father because his father's dead. So in the intro, like before we actually cut,
his father's not dead.
No, but he emotionally, I'm talking.
Yeah, because he saw the hamster in a wheel and he was like, oh God.
Exactly. No. Speaking of hamsters and wheels,
Mufasa doesn't not. I don't think there's a strained child.
No, it's not. But it's the story. Look, the story of a son who look. The story of a son who wants to get the approval, the explicit, tacit approval of his father to impress his father.
Fair enough. Okay.
That is a coming of age story, but you are stunted and you cannot have that if your father is trampled in the middle of a stampede
and backstabbed by his own brother.
Claw stabbed, actually, not backstabbed.
I was being more, more proverbial. You know, like. You know,
I know. I'm just thinking the opposable thumb things. Proverbially, he couldn't.
What if he put two paws together? Oh, and then like with a knife.
I was thinking maybe hold it in his mouth.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be the scariest thing of all time?
And then if he like
just like the Planet of the Apes with that chimp riding a horse firing an AK-47. A video that I constantly think about showing if my grandfather was still alive and I would kill him. Look at this! And like, like, oh my God. See, that's the thing. Is like that Planet of the Apes, the original movie. They're like, I can't believe people really thought, oh, this was Earth. Oh my God, so scary.
Right.
That thing. Then if I showed them the real one, they're like, is that real? Is that gonna happen? And you're like, I don't. Maybe at this point, I'm not sure.
What about this? What about this? The year is 1920 something.
Yeah, you started Elden Ring.
I started Elden Ring.
Yeah.
There's a theater full of people.
Okay.
They're watching the Great Bank Robbery.
Whoa.
The train comes straight at them.
Terrifying.
And they all jump out of their stairs.
Yes.
They're stairs. They're chairs.
Yeah.
Then you come into the theater and you say, but wait, I got something else for you. And you, from the future, bring back Planet of the Apes.
And he's standing on top of a horse, shooting an AK-47. What do you think people would do? They just jumped out of the way of a train coming towards the camera. Do you think they would
not even directly to the camera?
No,
like
kind of on the side. Because that train, the camera didn't get run over.
Of course not.
Do you think people would start killing themselves in the theaters?
I think so.
I think people would start just cannibalism, murder, suicide.
No, I think what would actually happen. Honestly.
Yes, honestly.
Yes. I think I'm not even making a joke. I think what would happen is they would stand up, they would leave the theater, and if you asked them, what did you think of that movie? They would say, I don't know, the screen was blank. I couldn't, their mind just wouldn't have registered anything that they saw.
And then there was one guy that was like, oh my God, and there's just puddles of brain coming out of his ears because he's just like, what? I don't want to live in the future. And then the worst part is they're like, this must be, and I'm trying to explain, it's a movie. You know, it's a movie. And they're like, was it a good one? I'm like, yeah, some people liked it.
They'd be like, so the whole world didn't see this?
Yes. I don't know. Some people like give and take, like whatever.
Now, La La Land.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about Avatar. Wait until you get to fight the mighty Akron as you jump into the world of Pandora.
Speaking of which, this podcast is sponsored by Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah,
shout out
Avatar
to James
2.
Cameron, who is a big fan of the podcast and wanted us to do that for him.
Big Jim. Big Jim energy, man.
Big Jim energy.
You know what? I will get to Lion King, but just, you haven't seen Avatar 2 yet? I haven't seen Avatar 2 yet. I was at a movie and the trailer shows, and my player one and we both do that. Like, I don't know, whatever. Here's the thing. Everyone is doing that.
Yep.
Big Jim Cameron has never lost.
I've said this countless times to everyone who makes fun of me when I say, I think we're going to be surprised by it. They're like, oh, it looks so bad. I say, if I've learned one thing in movies, never bet against James Cameron.
Absolutely.
Never bet against James Cameron.
Absolutely.
I think we've said that on the podcast before too.
We have, and we shouldn't. And you at home are doing the thing where you're like, I don't know. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That Vogue, what is not Vogue? The GQ Esquire, one of the articles came out of somebody doing the one-on-one with James Cameron before they started the movie so they can help, gin up a press for it and stuff like that. And some of the stories are completely unhinged. He sounds like an absolute maniac. Sure. You're like, I understand why he's really good at this. When somebody came in with notes for the story, he's like, hey, I built this building with all of my money. Get the fuck out. And you're like, whoa, okay, all right.
No, wasn't the story something like he was telling everyone what he wanted and they're like, well, that's going to cost us a lot of money. And he's like, hey, my money built the room that we're in right now.
Yes. Yeah. Titanic built this building.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you forget, if it's not Avatar, it's Titanic.
Yeah.
The other most successful movie of all time.
Terminator.
Or Terminator. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you just say?
Terminator.
Who is Termin and how did she taste?
Oh my God.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Good on Termin.
Termin, very classic first name. You know my friend Termin?
Well, did you know that in Africa, the sum of the weight, the mass of termites is equivalent to more than any of the mammals that live there?
No, I didn't know that.
That is actually true.
It's a lot of termites.
That is true. And obviously above those termites, there are rocks such as Pride Rock. And on that rock, there are lions.
Yes, there are.
The king of whom is Mufasa.
Yeah. For a short time period.
And he is on I think it's Simba on the cover of this week's game, The Lion King from 1994. I'm excited.
All you got,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited too. This is a game that I remember really loving. Obviously, it's a property that I really love.
Sure.
But the game I remember liking, but I also remember it being very difficult.
I remember it being very difficult. And in going back and making some notes on this, it seemed like the reviews said the same thing. And now what I was worried about is the fact that, sure, it's an older game. And what potentially was difficult about it was the fact that I was a doofus, right? And I wasn't good at games.
I'm right there with you.
But from what I've read in the reviews, it seems to be that there was one quote, I think it may have been from GamePro or something like that, where it was like, it's way too difficult for an adolescent and way too obnoxious for an experienced player.
Oh, no.
And I mean, the reviews in general are pretty good, but it does seem like difficulty is a big sticking point for a lot of people. So it wasn't just the fact that we were dumb kids, young, dumb, full of, come on, man, let's beat this level. It seems like that was actually very well thought or considered when people were reviewing the game, was how difficult it was. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But
I just fear that it was like, it's a game for kids. You know, because it's the 90s, right? It was a very different time for video games.
Yes.
And what we expected out of them, and the idea that like people were pushing, especially in 1994 when this game came out. Is that people were pushing to be like, we need to be treated seriously.
Yes.
And so you resent games that are, clearly angling themselves towards children. Sure. But really, if it's too difficult for children, well, then it wasn't aiming for children. It was aiming for more of a general appeal, right?
Yeah. And I mean, isn't that Disney? It's 100%. Like, you have to have something in there that appeals to children. But you also need to be watchable and the parents need to know they're getting more out of it as well. Otherwise they're going to let their kids see it once and then never want to watch it again. Like Disney's thing is like, let's make an adult product that kids will like. I think that's more of what they do. Yeah,
I think so. Like, I don't think they're catering to kids.
Right.
I think it's a good product and you know what I mean? And kids seem to like it. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this game came out in 1994, as I mentioned, SNES, Genesis, DOS, Amiga, Game Gear, Master System, Game Boy, and NES, which means we're going to be doing that thing that always trips me up between the Master System and the Mega Drive. That I always get fucked up. But look, we're in the US, so we didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. We had the Genesis, and it was developed by.
That.
What's that?
Thank God for that.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Let there be.
Radical gameplay.
Radical gameplay. An electronics store. Let there be light. Or like a hardware store. Let there be light.
Yeah. Oh my God. I thought of one the other day. Here, give me a second.
This is going back 2 weeks ago when we did Bible Adventures.
It's a curse now I live under. Like where I'm now thinking of things that I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I know. Man. Okay. Well, there you go. I'll think more. We'll just drop a few more in there.
We'll drop a few more in there. If you're watching us on YouTube, look at our eyes and how they glaze over when the other person's talking as we think of more Bible puns that we can say.
The Lion King of Kings. Sorry, keep going.
Is was that crossover between
King of Queens?
Yeah, King of Queens. The Lion King of Queens. What's the name of the guy in that?
Kevin James?
Kevin James.
Yeah.
King James.
King James.
Something there.
So, hey, there's a lot there, guys. There.
Developed by Westwood Studios and Disney Software, published by Virgin Interactive Entertainment, the company that actually bought Westwood Studios and was eventually bought by EA and kind of shuttered. But it was weird. Westwood Studios and under Virgin Interactive was like one of the biggest video game names out there until they kind of shuttered and folded as a part of EA. So kind of a sad story there. Now, one of the reasons why they were so popular and such a large video game company. Well, I'm going to read you off some of the games and I'll see if you recognize any of them.
I think I've got one, but yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. There was a game I used to play a lot.
Yeah.
Command & Conquer?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's the only one I remember because I remember the Westwood Studios logo coming up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They also did a Nightmare on Elm Street, Mickey's Runway, Eye of the Beholder, which was a game that was their first big hit. It was made on the license of Dungeons and Dragons, which was a cool little crossover for a video game.
I like the sequel, The Eye of the Beholder.
Oh, Andrew, that someone's got to put that on a t-shirt.
Honestly, $1 million idea.
Oh, at least.
Mm-hmm. I would think so. Do you think that t-shirt has sold $1 million?
Are you kidding me?
Do you think so?
Multiple millions. No, like that 100%. The fact that you and I know it,
right,
and that it's in stores everywhere you've been on vacation.
Yeah.
Beauty's in the Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah. What do you think has sold more?
That or female body inspector?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Female body inspector, I think.
Female body inspector, of course, has sold more.
What about 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor?
That because it's not just t-shirts. I think you could sell beach towels, hats.
Yeah.
Like I think you could do the whole.
What about Mission Impossible and there's 2 fat people naked looking at each other?
That sounds like a Far Side comic.
It does sound like a Far Side comic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish you were her.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Another one, which is really insulting.
It is.
Could you imagine sending that to someone you care about? I wish you were her. It's like, wow. Okay.
I mean, the Mission Impossible one is pretty insulting too. I didn't make that up. That's actually a shirt.
Is that a real one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever designed it was also a real one.
I don't think that guy was in the best shape either.
I doubt
the cartoonist.
Yeah. Also, show me the look of the guy, how beautiful the beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder guy was.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Do you think the female body inspector guy was either a federale or
a federale?
Or
I think he was actually. I think he looked strikingly like Jim Caviezel.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of person of interest.
Oh yeah, right. That too.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
That was a thing. That's a list. Obviously, Command and Conquer would be their biggest one that they had. They at one point, I think I read the stat, owned 5% of the PC gaming market because of the Command and Conquer franchise, which is fucking massive.
Wow.
Gameplay of this game, obviously, people are pretty familiar with it. You play through the events of the movie, but one of the coolest things about it, if people forget, you start as Simba as a young cub. Nice. And as the game progresses, you end up being Simba as an adult. Mm-hmm. Now, Simba as a young cub can do things like jump on enemies to kill them. You roar to solve puzzles. And as an adult, you get combat abilities. The combat abilities are scratch, throw, maul.
Maul?
Maul.
Oh my God.
That's vicious.
That is vicious.
I don't remember him doing much mauling in the movie.
I don't remember him.
But he is a teenager, so I could see him going to the mall. Molly.
We had 2 different jokes there. Would you go first?
I could see him. He's a teenager, so I could see him dropping a little Molly.
Oh, good. I was saying he's a teenager, so he spends a lot of time at the mall.
Oh, then and Andrew, that's really good as well.
Thank you very much.
We should do a ceremonial exchange of jokes here.
Yes. And
I'll write it down on paper. And I'll wrap it in a fur. Yeah. You do the same. Okay. I'll give it to you, and then we'll burn it as we pass through a meteor shower, a la Andor.
I like that idea. That's really good. We should get those framed to put in each other's walls.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That sounds great. I'll put it. Yeah, we'll put it up in yours, and then I'm sure I'll get to it.
Yeah, it's too bad that you didn't. I wish I could have framed my own joke, but that's too bad.
The one. Yeah, going to a mall. Yeah, it's really on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would like that one better.
If you at home liked one of those jokes better, no, please don't do
this to us.
We can't.
Andrew can't handle that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's not constant jokes about my mental well-being.
You also have to eat bugs to restore things like your health and your roar meter, which is cool. There are special bonus levels where you got Timon and Pumbaa because it's like you're eating grub, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
The cave paintings are on the wall in this one.
Oh, okay.
Because,
all right.
It just kind of like it's a good translation between the movie and the video game. Seems like there were some good ideas that translated well that you wouldn't necessarily attribute to being game-like, but that suited well, like the power-ups being Timon and Pumbaa kind of thing.
Can I ask, did anyone come back to do their voices for this game?
I think they did, actually.
Whoa.
I remember the intro in between each of the levels. Timon's the meerkat, right?
Timon's a meerkat.
Timon like saying words to introduce the next level coming in. Mm. So I think there actually were. And I know that actual Disney animators drew the sprites and the backgrounds for this game.
Whoa, that's
which is really cool. That's really cool.
Timon, I think, is Nathan Lane. The actual cast for this is crazy.
Is it true?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was young Simba.
I remember that.
Matthew Broderick was older Simba. Jeremy Irons is Scar.
Oh, yeah.
Mustafa is
Mufasa.
Mufasa
is the French Foreign Legion Will Ferrell from Austin Powers.
So it's not Will Ferrell. Okay, sorry. It's James Earl Jones.
Yes.
Is Mufasa. Jeez, I almost did it again. And it's like an incredible cast.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, well, there we go.
Anything you'd like to add to that, Andrew?
I'm just excited for them to come back so I can hear all their voices again.
Actually, they don't come back.
Oh.
Simba is voiced by Donald Glover. Nala is voiced by Beyonce.
Okay.
Pumbaa
is Seth Rogen. And then I think the other one was Billy Eichner.
Oh, nice.
And that's a good pair.
Zazu was?
Oh, Zazu. No, Zazu was John Oliver.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense. I don't know who Zazu was in the original, but okay, yeah.
# your uncle killed your father.
That's not bad. That was pretty good.
Sorry, John Oliver. I got nothing against you.
No, that was good.
Oh, thanks, man.
He deserves it.
Yeah, fuck him.
Get him. Get him.
So the development, there were 2 levels, actually. Hakuna Matata and Be Prepared were the names of 2 levels that were based on cutscenes from the movie.
Oh.
That's always neat. And by the way, I was thinking about that. That was very much a trope of the era. The more we play retro games, the more you see it. Like levels were called like phrases.
Yeah, there was like a name for the level.
Yeah, the Earthworm Jim did that a lot. I remember Star Fox had one level that I always remember, Out of the Frying Pan. And it's like a fire level, but not into the fire, just out of the frying pan, ... And that's how I learned what the saying was, because my brother and I were playing. He's like, and into the fire. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, it's a saying. I was like,
your legendary conversations with your brother as you guys play video games.
Reception of this game, the SNES version alone sold about 1.27 million units between Game Gear, DOS, etc. All in all, around 4.5 million copies were sold. So very well received. EGM gave it a 31 out of 40. GameFan gave it a 268 out of 30. I'm assuming there's 3 different reviews out of 100 for that, or otherwise I don't know what's going on. Nintendo Power gave it a 16.3 out of 20. And Entertainment Weekly, the one you were waiting for, gave it a B+.
Oh, good.
Good. It's always good when Entertainment Weekly tells you could be doing better.
Video games are just like us.
They are just like us.
I think that was Us Weekly, but still, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, and Us Weekly does Entertain Me Weekly, so.
Yeah. Entertainment Weekly, I think, is now just called Entertainment because it's no longer a weekly magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it actually produces magazines anymore. Or if it does, it's monthly.
Is Entertainment Tonight and Entertainment Weekly, are those related?
It's funny. No, because those are 2 different periods of time. But
what?
Entertainment Weekly and Entertainment Tonight.
No,
those are 2 different periods
I understand.
Of time.
But entertainment is also a different concept from Entertainment Weekly, and yet you're saying those are related.
Yeah, it's also the middle name of Charles Entertainment Cheese.
That is true. That is true.
Do you think they're all related?
That rat.
Seriously, I need you to introduce to our CEO, and it's a huge plush, like it's the mascot, and it's like, hello.
Everyone else you're talking to animatronic. I was thinking there's just an actual plush thing there, and everyone in the boardroom pretends like it's a real thing.
It's Emperor's New Clothes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So speaking of the Emperor's New Clothes, I'm going to try to catch you in a lie. Or trip you up a little bit.
Okay.
I've got
catch me in a lie.
A list of catch you in a lie if I can.
Oh.
There are a lot of Lion King games that are out there. Most of which we haven't played. Right. Some of which seem pretty absurd. So I've got a list of games, some of which I've made up, some of which are real Lion King games.
Oh.
You're going to tell me true or false.
So they're all Lion King games.
They're all Lion King games.
And I just need to find I see what the Lion
You just
King
need to
now.
tell me if it's a true game or a false game.
Got you.
Real or
was it a
fake.
real game
Yes.
or is it a game you made up?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
True.
True. That's
the premise of the game.
The premise of the game. Yes.
Okay, good. One for one, 100%. Right
No, that one doesn't count.
Why not?
No. I don't pad your stats.
I'm not padding my stats.
I know this doesn't mean a lot to you, but it means a lot to me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Ow. My feelings.
Ouchies. Okay, number 1. Hyenas plus The Lion King, and there's a Shenzi, Banzi, and Ed edition.
So wait, the game is called Hyenas?
Hyenas plus The Lion King.
I'm going to say this is false.
It is false.
Oh, good. Thank God.
It's not a bad idea. The Lion King 1.5.
I know Disney did do these 1.5s for a bit, so I'm going to say it's true.
It is true.
Yeah. They did a lot of sequels for their most famous movies as like 1.5s.
Yes.
That were like direct to home videos.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I remember watching that one as well and being somewhat disappointed. The Lion King plus Disney Princess.
The Lion King plus Disney Princess. Sure. True.
You're right.
Oh, wow. Why? Yeah. Okay. That's so weird.
Grub Grab featuring Timon and Pumbaa.
True.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. That sounds like a game. You know, Timon and Pumbaa are the most marketable people out of this thing.
Yeah. Oh, they seem like when Star Wars creates a character like Baby Yoda just to sell more plushies.
Yeah, Star Wars does that. I need you to know everyone's name in the whole scene.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
there's 12 people.
And like pod racing, I think being an element of that as well. Okay. Simba's Mighty Adventure.
That's so generic. I'm gonna say true.
It is true.
Yeah. Okay.
Rafiki's Banana Squash.
I'm gonna say false.
Is there any chance you would have thought it was real if I didn't laugh?
Because isn't that like the squish banana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I just don't know if kids are like, you know what? I really want to play more with that Rafiki guy. That guy seems cool and not weird at all.
He does seem pretty cool.
He does?
Yeah.
Was that your favorite character?
I'd let him squash a tomato and rub it on my head. Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Do we know what that was? It a tomato?
No, I think it was like a pomegranate or something, wasn't it?
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's the juice of it.
Yeah. It was good looking no matter what it was.
Simba Can't Wait to Be King.
Sure. True.
Nope. I got you, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. I'm so much smarter than you.
Fuck. I was doing so well. I was like 20 for 20.
Brother Bear plus The Lion King.
False.
True.
Really? Why?
It's a good question.
Did people like Brother Bear?
Was Brother Bear a thing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Fuck. Adventures in Typing with Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, true.
That is true.
Okay, thank God.
Nala, Pride Rock Designer.
False.
Yeah, you're false.
God, I was going to be so mad if that was true.
I know, right? Yeah. But it seems like the kind of thing that would be true in the early 90s.
Because like before it was like plus Disney Princess. I'm like, yeah, right. There is no female dominant character in this. Nala is very much a side character. And so I bet you they tried to be like, okay, we can do some stuff here. You know?
100%. 100%. We've got...
I mean, Pride Rock. Oh my God.
We got a few more. Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games.
True. Yeah. You need to choose more generic ones that you're like, well, I don't know why this wouldn't be a thing. You know?
I got you on one.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not that dumb after all.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. You're 1 for 10.
Iago and Zazu When Worlds Collide.
False. When Worlds
That wasn't generic enough for you?
Zazu and Iago, the pair you've always wanted to see together on screen.
Okay, next one.
Iago and Zazu.
When Worlds Collide.
Zazu.
Gilbert's back.
Yeah, Gilbert's back.
From the grave, from the elephant graveyard.
He was well hung.
He was very well hung. Want to see how I got this scar? Batman versus Pride Rock.
Oh, true.
Nope.
Oh no, I didn't get it right. Mikey, Jesus Christ.
Elephant graveyard after dark. No bones about it.
What the hell? In your mind, what the hell did you think this game was going to be about?
It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's, but you're exploring the elephant graveyard.
About the elephants coming back to scare you.
Exactly.
Oh, false.
And instead of running out of power, you run out of roars.
Oh yeah, right. Because you got to store your roar meter.
Got to store your roar.
Yeah,
that's like BioSteel Drink the Pink. Store the roar. Or no, is that
what it's called?
Is that Pink Whitney?
There's Pink Whitney.
Pink Whitney's the Ryan Whitney's drink.
Oh, Ryan Whitney has a drink?
Yeah, it's a vodka drink. Pink lemonade. Our Spit and Chicklets fans will know that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Couple more. That could be real, could be false.
Could be real, could be false.
Sex in the Clouds, a horned up adventure for children.
Please be false. Oh, okay, good.
But I bet you some Disney's designer was thinking about it.
Oh yeah. No, there's some.
Because you know how the
stuff.
stars spell out sex in the Lion King?
Wait, no, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes, no, they actually do.
Wow, is that actual thing?
Yeah.
You always hear that, then you're like, I don't know.
No.
Like,
in the Disney ones, they're all true. It's fucking weird. I honestly watched it recently and saw it. It's in the stars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
In the stars.
Who wore it better, Hamlet or Simba? And by it, I mean their father's regicide. That one's real.
Oh, that one's real. Oh, interesting. So what do you do in this game? It's a fashion designing game? Like, yes. Who wore it better?
You have, well, yes.
Or is it like a cleaning simulator about getting blood off of hands?
Oh, that's a really good one. Mm-hmm. Well, that's also Macbeth, Out Damn Spots.
Oh, yeah, damn it.
Yeah.
Man, Hamlet really went back to that note a lot, eh?
What note?
Murdering of royalty.
Well, I mean, it's pretty important, Andrew. It's probably the most important crime we have.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did I say it was not important? I'm just saying he always went back to the same thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, because it's important.
Yeah, this is like a Michael Scott, you always have to have a gun in an improv scene because like, whoa, what else? What else am I going to do? It's the biggest part you could ever do.
Yeah, you can't top that.
No.
So that's it for the games.
Wow.
And I got you on one, and that's all I was going for.
You really did, Mikey.
Guess who's not bulletproof no more?
What? You thought I was bulletproof before?
Well, for about 4 or 5 questions, I did.
Actually, yeah, I did pretty well. I did a lot better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
But like Simba, I can't wait to be king. Like, is that the one I got wrong?
Yeah.
It's great. That's a great fake one.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks. Well, if you have any other fake Lion King games that you want to send us, you can do so at the retrogradepodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on our socials at Retrograde Podcast, at Retrograde Andy, at Retrograde Mikey, on TikTok at Retrograde Pod. You can find us on YouTube. All this stuff is going to be told to you in the break, because the break, you know why that happens?
Why?
Because we're about to go play this freaking game, the Lion. Oh wait, no,
we got to give it a score.
Wow, we haven't done this in so long. Give it a score. We have to give it a score out of 4 bits. So as we mentioned prior to starting even talking about the Lion King, we're going to start off by giving this game a rating out of 4 bits. This is based on our impressions of the game when we played it as kids. Very subjective score.
Very subjective.
So Andrew, do you want to start us off with your rating out of 4 bits based on what you thought of the Lion King? Can't wait to be king.
Is that the actual subtitle for this one?
No.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, oh man, I didn't even know the full title of this one. Okay, so great game. Loved it as a kid.
Yeah.
Loved Lion King. So this was the thing is, I would have given this a good score, even if it was a piece of like absolute elephant shit.
Yeah.
Because I liked the Lion King.
Right.
But the game was also actually pretty good. So it kind of was a double whammy. It was something I liked and it was a good game. But like I said, my one long-standing memory of this game is that it's very difficult.
Yes.
So that has to get knocked a little bit.
What were some of the specific things before you give your strict review?
I remember exactly one clear level.
Okay.
You have to ride an ostrich.
That's Donkey Kong.
Yeah, also this.
Okay.
It could be both. There's only one ostrich that got shared.
And then after that, you are underwater on a swordfish.
Yes, exactly. But don't forget to collect your bananas.
You gotta collect all the bananas.
I just remember there was like a jump. It was kind of like a Battletoads type thing, like left turn.
Sure.
Like it's just going straight and you got to figure it out. And I remember that being incredibly difficult. Because I remember the swinging off the tails is, and then it goes to that. So I remember being very difficult. And the other problem is there was another game, Aladdin, that I'm directly comparing it to.
Yes, you have to.
I liked Aladdin more. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a knock because of that. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 4.
A 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like that score, and I think I'm right around there with you. Okay, I had a similar experience with the game where, of course, I was going to get this game. I was fucking in love with this movie.
Yeah.
The one thing that worries me about it is the fact that, like, I know I played it. I know I have a lot of memories of it, but the fact that I didn't play it more worries me because of how much I loved The Lion King. If I really loved this game, even if I just kind of loved this game, you would think I would have played. I know I never beat it, but you would think I would have sunk countless hours into it because the source material is already there. And it wasn't the case. I do. What?
Well, I'm just saying you had to quickly finish this game. You had to move on to other things like Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah. I had to start that because I knew that if I didn't finish it by this month.
Your decades-long journey with this game. Yeah.
Decades. Weird to say we've been alive decades, but that indeed we have.
We very much have. Yeah.
Yeah. Several of them.
Yeah. You were playing this game when you were a decade old, probably.
94, less than a decade old.
Oh, less than a decade old.
Yeah.
Very good.
The one thing I remember loving about this game, though, was the art design. This game felt like, it's funny looking back on it, you don't see this, but it felt like you were playing a cartoon, like one-to-one with a cartoon. Because the Genesis was capable of creating these color palettes and these graphics and these sprites that were just looked unlike anything that you could have found on the Super Nintendo. Right. And I found that this game really did that well. I played the shit out of it. I want to give it a higher score than this, but I just don't think I can because I don't have this stuck in my memory the way that something like Aladdin is. I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to give this game a 3 out of 4.
Oh, okay. So 2 3s. I thought you were going to go higher than that. All right. So
I honestly wanted to, but it's just the kind of thing where I would have thought about it more, you know, 100%. It would have meant more to me, or it should have, because of how much I loved The Lion King.
Well, there we go. So that's a 6 out of 8 in our retro scores. And to give our modern scores, we can only do one thing, and that's go play this game.
We are going to go play this game. So if you're going to join us over at the gameplay, by the way, we said this before, and you should hear it in the segue music and statement. We do have all of our gameplay segments for free over on the our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Retrograde Podcast. You can go find it there, and you should. We have some fun with it. We're going to play the game for about 30-40 minutes, and then we're going to come back and give it the review in 2 shakes of...
Oh, Mikey, there's so many animals you can choose from. Just choose any animal.
Arctic fox?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
2 shakes of an Arctic fox's tail?
Adorable.
Hey D-pads, want to watch this week's gameplay segment where we play a portion of today's game and provide video commentary while doing it? All of our gameplay segments are available for free at youtube.com/The Retrograde Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and maybe leave us a like and comment while you're there. And while you're here, why not drop us a rating or review on your podcast platform of choice? It only takes you a moment, but it helps us out immensely and lets us know you appreciate us as much as we appreciate you. You can still join us on our Patreon for $5 US per month at patreon.com/The Retrograde Podcast for monthly bonus episodes such as drafts, spoiler casts, top 10 lists, and take some suggestions from the community, both gaming and non-gaming related. Plus, make sure to follow us on all our social media channels. It's at Retrograde Pod on Twitter and TikTok, or at The Retrograde Podcast on Instagram. We're also available on Twitter at Retrograde Mikey and at Retrograde Andy. Finally, reach out to us with any business inquiries or questions and comments you'd like us to read on air at theretrogradepodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you all on the other side.
And welcome back to The Retrograde.
Hey, I earned my dad's respect.
Yeah, did you? How is that? Oh, yes, right.
Because I jumped on a hippo's head.
Yes, right. I told you had to do this.
Yes.
But you know what? You came through in a big way.
Both times. So we were stuck at a level. We obviously played the Lion King. And we were stuck at various points in the game. And both times when neither of us could get through it, you said, "Don't let your father down." And that time I got it. Both times.
It's like a Manchurian Candidate or Winter Soldier type code words I use, and it just unlocked your brain like
loving, diapers, approval,
Septembers.
No, but all the words are related to
yes.
Yeah. So all in
Daddy,
all,
kisses.
Daddy, kisses, hugs,
sweet kisses from Daddy.
Kill your mother. Electra Complex.
Stewie Griffin. Oh boy. I don't even like Family Guy that much.
What did you think? First of all, first impressions going back into The Lion King.
Okay, it's really pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's
like
really...
my daddy.
Yes. I wanted to give it sweet kisses. It's a very good looking game. And
like my daddy.
Like your daddy. It's very good color palette, like your daddy.
Yes.
Can we just go forward with, I would say like your daddy for everything, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So we don't need to say it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, interesting color palette too, the pastels and stuff like that, which are very different than the actual movie.
Yes, like my daddy.
Like your, but it does work, you know. In this,
like my daddy, he works, and he's such a good worker.
Yeah, right.
He takes care of us.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna like this part of the podcast when he listens back to it?
Oh, he's never listened to an episode.
There we go. So the color palette's really cool. It's different than the movie. And then I would say the music, of course, is like really good.
Like my daddy. It's my daddy's really good.
Oh my God.
No, he is. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy?
He's a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
He's a dog in the situation, or?
Oh, he was in his time.
Oh my God.
He was in his time.
So a lot of like base elements that are really like pleasing just to start off. Like you're like, oh, okay, cool. Then you get into it and you're like, okay. The controls are a little soft.
They are soft and floaty, yes. And the opposite of unforgiving. Oh, wait, no.
Opposite of forgiving?
Yes, they're unforgiving.
Just like your daddy. I had to. Guys.
Andrew.
Guys.
You told me not to do that anymore. And I listened.
Just like Daddy.
Just
I'll stop. I swear to God. That must be so annoying.
Unlike my daddy. He's not annoying. He's not. He's a great dude.
Oh, boy. Is that it? No, because we're afraid to say anything.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the rest of the podcast is just us staring at each other. No, I agree. I think the controls were difficult. I think that
No.
I think that they were floaty. And there was this real thin margin of error.
We're both trying not to laugh.
There's a real thin margin of error for the platforming elements. Fuck.
But it's true. We made the most simple mistakes.
Yes.
You know.
I was mistaken. I'm very simple.
We made the most simple mistakes that, like, we're trying to do all the difficult stuff, like double jump off an ostrich. Good luck with that one. And other things. And then you try and get back there, and then you slide off a giraffe's head. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Well,
you know, like,
also, it's so the giraffes are specifically, like, they're platforming elements where when you jump on them, and it's very much like the scene, I just can't wait to be king.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for me to be king.
I just can't wait for me to be king.
Where you're like jumping on the heads of animals and all that. But the way that the platforming works is when you jump on the giraffe's head, there's a very thin area that you have to jump on. And as you hit it, you've got like a split second before the giraffe lifts its head up and you roll off the other way. And that often results in you falling in the water. Now, the problem is in order for you to jump from one giraffe's head to the other, you usually need a bit of a running start. So you have to land, run a little bit, and then jump. But there's such a small margin for error, and it's made more difficult by the fact that the controls are pretty floaty. I'm doing good.
And you're doing great. You're just wiping tears away from your face.
I'm literally wiping tears away from my face. So the reason I bring that up is because the platforming is not only demanding, but the controls are difficult.
They are difficult. They are difficult. Yeah, you're right. They're like really taxing, excuse me.
Yes.
You're right about the forgiveness. Like, and sometimes you think that, no, stop. I've got that meme in my head. No. But that's the problem is you make simple mistakes because of that. Like, you do these things where you're like, oh, I should be able to repeat this easy part. And you're like, oh, right.
So there was another
learning curve.
Yeah, not even just a learning curve.
Oh, okay.
It almost felt
okay,
like,
not what I said then.
No, there was a learning curve, but it's in most. So here's the thing with most difficult video games. When I'm playing them and I'm banging my head against the wall trying to complete a series of tasks, the first time I complete the task, I'm usually able to do it, like repeat that pretty easily.
Right.
I can replicate the success once I've done it one time. The problem is because the controls are almost unpredictable in this game, it feels like I'm constantly worried about having to redo things just because I'm not going to really make a mistake. It's that the controls are going to fail me in trying to get back to where I was before, if that makes sense.
Okay,
so when you get a game over and you have to repeat a checkpoint, I'm not like, oh, I've done this before, I can do it again. I'm like, I've done this before, but I just hope I can manage the controls well enough to get me over that giraffe's head again.
Yeah, a lot of giraffe's heads in this.
A lot of giraffe's heads.
More than maybe up until this point in my life combined.
Oh, that's true.
So that was tough. And you know, the idea that we were going into this going like, oh, I remember this game being difficult. That was 1,000% correct.
Yes.
It's a difficult game.
Yes.
But it's not difficult. I don't know.
It's not difficult in the right way because here's kind of part and parcel why I think the difficulty in this game is not the right amount of difficulty and not difficult for the right reasons. If you had this game, platforming elephants also applies.
Also, yes, very true.
Platforming elements were exactly the same. The exception was you had the character model and control of Mario. I think I could easily beat this game.
Yeah.
I trust the jumps of Mario way easier.
Yes.
It's not even you just have control over them. The way they make this game difficult is by giving you less immediate control, and that doesn't feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely.
Good.
And then the other part too is there's a puzzling element with the monkeys, and some you can roar and some you can't. And now I'm starting to think that I figured this one out. But God damn it, I want to go back and play this game so badly.
Basically, what we ended up getting hooked up on, if you didn't watch the video, phonics. We got hooked on phonics.
Yeah.
We couldn't start. I was like,
yeah, very good. You're getting there.
And then Andrew used a speak and spell voice against me and stabbed a couple voodoo dolls and called it a day.
Spell cow.
What about spelling B? Spell B.
Oh, very good. That's tough.
Yeah.
Is it like B. Arthur or is it like the bug?
Ooh, can you use it in a sentence?
This sassy older woman living with three other friends.
This isn't Jeopardy. You have to use the word in a sentence.
Oh,
hi, my name's B. Arthur.
That's not a sentence.
Hi, my name is B. Arthur.
It's a fragment.
It's a sentence. That's a complete sentence. You have a subject, object, predicate.
Which was the subject? B. Arthur?
I.
So who's B. Arthur in that sentence? Insect?
Object.
Oh, object.
I am B. Arthur.
Mm-hmm. She's the object.
Yes.
Okay.
Love objectifying women.
B. Arthur would not put up with that shit. She was a very strong woman.
Yeah. So I think the puzzle that we got hung up on, there are monkeys in trees. Some of them are purple. Most of them are purple. Some of them are pink.
Yeah.
You can roar and get the pink ones to change their sides. And the reason that's significant is because when you jump on a rhino's head, they shoot you up into the trees. The monkeys grab you. And like DK's barrels, they just kind of shoot you. They fling you from side to side.
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. Once you get to the pink ones, depending on which way they're facing, they'll throw you a certain way. So we got to one where there were two islands and the monkeys were tossing us from one side of the, not one side of the island, from one island to another. In order to get back to the other side, you had to do this weird platforming mechanic of jumping across floating logs as they were being submerged in water. Now that in a Mario game or in any other platformer would be not daunting. The only reason it's daunting is because the controls will fail you in this game.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the puzzle difficult. It makes exploration very treacherous, and it makes the idea of experimenting almost untenable because you're going to risk lives and then a game over and have to play the whole fucking game over again just to test whether or not a pink monkey's facing the right way. There's no logic to having them facing the right way. You just have to experiment and see where they end up throwing you.
You know what we didn't try?
What?
What if we roared at it twice? Would it go a different direction completely?
No, we tried roaring at it twice in the first scene and it goes right and then left.
Okay.
And then right and then left.
I'm going to be thinking about this for a while.
We should have almost looked it up on YouTube to find out.
We should have. Yeah, that would have been great when we're on YouTube looking at YouTube.
It's very meta.
Yeah, very meta.
We're on meta looking
at ourselves and we turn around looking at the cameras.
The music, as we mentioned in this game, and the graphics are unbelievable. You can tell that the sprites and the backgrounds were designed by these Disney designers. The music, they got all the licensed stuff from Elton John and Tiki Barnes. What's his name?
Yep, Tiki Barnes.
Tiki Barnes.
Tiki Barnes.
Tiki Barnes. What's his name?
Tim Rice.
Oof. That was close.
No. Not even close. Not even close.
I just almost got it.
No.
Hey, what is... Spell Tim for me.
T-I.
Stop right there.
No, I didn't finish the name yet.
No, I know, but I'm just saying stop right there.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
What?
I need somebody with a human touch. Tiggy, T-I. Rubber Band Man himself.
Oh, point made. Oh, boy. Okay.
Wow. Okay. But the reason I bring up the music is because, yes, it's licensed. It's music we love, but you made the point during the gameplay segment. It started to drive us fucking nuts.
It is. Because you're on the same level, which we were at the second one.
Yes.
Constantly. You're like, oh, God, this music is driving me crazy.
Yes. Ooh. Like no one else. I think that's worth saying because it's such good music. And the fact that they found a way to loop it in a way that becomes maddening is worrisome.
Impressive. Oh, yeah, worrisome.
Yeah. So I don't know. The reason why I think that's an issue is because it takes one of the best elements of the game and uses it against itself. And I think maybe that should lead us into the reviews.
100%.
Unless you have any other thoughts before we get into it.
No, I was just thinking that maybe at the end of the level when you beat it, then they play the music and you're like, yay! I'm happy to hear this music.
Well, we should say that they punctuate each level with like a scene from The Lion King. And it's, after the first level, you're on Pride Rock with your...
oh, Mikey. Just like Daddy. Oh, buddy.
You're on Pride Rock with a fucking beast of a man.
I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine looking my father in the eyes and going like, he's like, and then you know what I said? I'm like, yeah, I know what you said, you beast of a man. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know, lots.
I don't know. Can I feel your biceps?
Yeah. Sweet kisses. I gotta go. Maybe just give me a sweet kiss just in case I gotta go right here.
I remember the first time I grew a beard. And I was in university, I met my dad at the airport, and he was driving me home, and I gave him a little kiss on the cheek, not the mouth. I'm not Tom Brady, who is another beast of a man. and I gave him a little kiss on the cheek, and he was like, ugh, it's weird kissing a dude with a beard. And I was like, it's good to see you too, Dad.
And then he stuck out his hand for a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Weird kissing a dude with my beard. When I like kissing my dudes, clean shaven.
Like a baby's bottom. Another thing I love kissing.
Oh, no. It's horrible things we're finding about your father. Let's get to our reviews.
Let's get to our review. So you started with a 3 out of 4. I also gave it a 3 out of 4. That's our retro score based on our subjective feelings of what we thought of the game back when we played it as kids. But this is your review out of 4 bits based on what you think about this game as it holds up in the modern day against like some modern games like God of War Ragnarok, like Fortnite. They have so much in common.
I'm surprised Simba is not in this game holding an Uzi and running around or something like that.
I was thinking more God of War. I mean, the father-son relationship is in that too.
That's a good. I didn't even think about that. Well, actually,
I think about father-son relationships a lot.
I can imagine you do. Yes. You don't even really hide it that well. Oh God, I want to talk about God of War so bad. I want people to catch up a little bit so I can talk about the story elements.
Oh, great. I want to play it too. Maybe in the new year we'll have an episode on it. Yeah. The new year of 2025.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so for my current day review of The Lion King, this game is really, like we're saying, it's beautiful, and the music's really great. It's really pleasant. You turn it on, you're like, all right, good. And while the controls, are a little bit loose, they're still incredibly easy. There's 3 buttons, and in that way, you can pick it up and play, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, so at that point, we're looking at pretty good game, right?
Sure.
In my mind, we're filling the score to a pretty good game. Now, how does it tip over the edge to be the best or the greatest game or one of the great games? Well, I'm not sure it can, but I will say the difficulty rating is actually is a big positive for me.
Sure.
Because in the modern day, with all the games I can play and all the difficulties, and I can look at puzzles, looking at God of War, there's some like Uncharted level puzzles where you're looking around like, how do I get to that? If I could do it with that game, that's a modern game in 2022, and I could do the exact same thing in a game in 1984, that's a real bonus for 1994, because I'm sitting there going like, okay, wait, no. If that pink monkey tossed me over there, then I should get it. And, it's insane, but you do...
Pink monkey is what my dad called me after I kissed him on the cheek.
Get away from me, you pink monkey. Well, that felt weird.
That's a sound bite.
I don't know if I like that. So it is a real benefit for it. And so I don't think this game is ultimately going to be up there at the Hall of Halls and like one of the best games of all time, but yet it's a really good game and totally fun to play. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 4.
I like that score. Same score as your modern day or your retro score. And I feel like thinking back to the conversation that we had over the last 20 minutes when we've been talking about the game post playing it, I feel like we were too hard on it because I think the reason why we're hard on it is because there's a really good game in there somewhere. And as much as I was frustrated with the puzzles and some of the platforming, you do get better at it as you play. And you learn to live in this weird, clunky control ecosystem that it builds.
Right.
Among the hippos and the giraffes and all that stuff. And because of that, you start to feel like you're conquering it a little bit. And I could... What's that?
Bad Fur Day.
Oh, conquering Bad Fur Days. Yes.
No, don't add to it. Just move on.
It's hard. It's hard to because it's right there.
What is?
You just made a joke, and if I don't, everyone's going to be like, Andrew's funnier than you. So,
is that why you do this?
Conquers Bad Fur Day.
Yes.
Command and Conquer. It's Bad Fur Day.
Command and before and after.
Yeah.
Which
is a reference you made earlier, so I dunked on your joke there a little bit.
You dunked on my joke?
I dunked on it.
Oh, okay.
Well, you threw the alley-oop, and I dunked it back on you.
And then in this area, I also went for the block, and then you also dunked it on me. What a weird game we're playing.
You alley-ooped it close to the net. I dunked it, and then gave you my crotch as I hang on the rim.
Rub my nuts on my head. Yeah,
exactly.
That's awesome.
Kobe, how my ass taste.
So you were making a point.
Yeah. You feel like you're conquering the game.
Thank you.
And commanding the respect of your father. and I want to go back, like you said, you're like, I want to look up on YouTube and figure out how to do that puzzle thing that we were trying to do. And I'm like, yeah, same. I also would have loved to have mastered that one little bit that got you in between the islands so I could actually play around with the pink monkeys and see. The fact that I have that drive is a good thing.
Yes.
However, the bad controls are a bit annoying, but it doesn't make me want to drop it below a 3 because what you cannot untangle from this game is the fact that it's a Lion King game. I love The Lion King, and it's a good Lion King game. So that alone is almost worth the price of admission. Yeah. And the fact that in there's creativity and a bit of whimsy, I'm also going to go with a 3. I considered going a 3.5. I also considered going a 2.5, but I think that sweet spot is there of a 3. There are better Disney games, aka Aladdin, but this is so fucking worth going out and checking out if you can get your hands on it.
Well, there we go. 3s across the board. That gets us to 12 out of 16.
That's true. That's good math, Andrew.
Thanks, buddy.
Very well done.
Yeah.
But you know what we don't know? We know the numerical score.
Oh.
We don't know what awards this game won. And the only way we're going to be able to find out is by going to the award ceremony, Andrew.
I love this idea.
So grab my paw.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
And let's meander on over there. And while we're walking, if you just want to squeeze my hand a little bit and say...
Boy, this is getting weird.
I'm going to walk on my knees if you don't mind.
No. This is like the Walt Disney with Mickey where they pointing like this. All right.
Warm up the band.
You've been waiting for it all year. The most glamorous award ceremony of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grady's.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Underneath the sound of the awards. Actually, I wonder, I don't know if you knew this, Andrew, but as you said, you're a fucking weirdo. The band stopped playing.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Did it one of those like hilarious, like, you know, a record scratch?
We'll find out in the editing process.
We'll find out if we put that in there.
Elliot's here, dressed, awkward. He wanted to dress up as a lion. It looks like that's just the Wizard of Oz lion's costume. Yeah. That is not...
coward?
You're a coward.
You're a coward.
You're a fucking coward, Elliot.
But you know what would not make you a coward? If you were brave enough to read the award that this game won.
Oh, see, I was going to say if he hung himself on set.
That's not a real thing.
It is. I've seen it.
No, you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I was there.
You were there.
I was there. I clicked my heels together in my ruby slippers after my dad called me a pink monkey.
Yeah.
And I was
still not comfortable with that.
I was taken to Kansas. A lot of people called me a pink monkey.
Yeah.
In Kansas.
Yeah.
And then I went to set and I hung myself.
Oh, that was you. Mm-hmm. So how are you here now? How's this work?
Time loops. It's complicated.
Time loops are complicated.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. Can you just read your award, please?
Reach into that mane, maybe.
Yeah.
Do lions have pouches?
Yeah, they're like kangaroos. They don't use them.
Okay.
It's a luxury.
All right, Elliot, why don't you read us the awards this game won?
The hermetically sealed vault of expectations.
What? Stop doing that. Stop. They just heard it.
What if our drop machine broke?
Oh, then we should close this podcast. We should not do it anymore.
We should, but that's why I do it just in case.
Okay. Well, there we go. Hermetically sealed vault of expectations.
Where it has the same score in the past as it does in the future. This one, though, feels like it almost deserves its own version of that, its own sub award, because it's the exact same awards for both of us before and after.
It's incredible. Very few times that we've actually never done that.
Very seldom indeed, Andrew.
So there we go. Lion King, 12 out of 16. It was a great game.
It was a great game.
I had a lot of fun playing it. If I saw this, like, I know it's not an arcade or something like that, but if I saw it like a free to play, I'd be
like a arcade or something like that. Yeah,
100%.
Especially using that old Genesis controller, man. It's just the fucking best.
Just the best.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear us talk about that, go to our Patreon, Mushroom Club, where we rank every controller.
Best controllers of all time. We do a tier ranking. Andrew, I want to see some of your tiers. So I'm going to tell you the name of the next segment we're going to do. It's called 3 Sentences. To you might guess the game formerly. Now it's called Test Your Might.
Test Your Might.
So we have another submission for this game. If you want to send us a submission for us to do on the podcast, you can do so. Send us an email over at the Retrograde Podcast at gmail.com. Basically, the premise is listeners send us 3 generic sentences describing the plot of a game, and we have to guess what the game is. You'll see there's an art to getting the exact...
Such art.
The exact je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, very good.
Wow, Andrew. Okay, so here we go. This one was submitted by Greg M.
Okay. Are you doing it with me?
I'm doing it with you.
Right.
I don't know the answer.
Right. Good job, Greg.
Okay, so here you go. First sentence.
Okay.
The Rock sure does make you crazy.
The Rock?
The Rock sure does make you crazy.
Okay, so what could this be a reference to?
This could be it could be like a Chaos Emerald from Sonic or something like that.
What if it's Superman and that's Kryptonite?
I was thinking maybe, is this going to be him recommending that we do Superman 64?
Oh boy.
The Rock sure does make you crazy. Crazy's weird though.
Crazy is weird. Yeah, because Superman doesn't go crazy. He just gets less powerful.
So what I want to put on the table is that we got to think of like powerful gems.
Yeah.
Like the Lord of the Rings would work if that were a rock, right? Because it's like the ring makes you go crazy, and they're calling it so something like that.
Okay, all right.
The next sentence: the true enemy the whole time was religion.
Oh wow! Is this Assassin's Creed
Rock
again?
of Gibraltar?
Rock of Gibraltar.
It could be Assassin's Creed again.
It does make you crazy.
It makes a lot of people go crazy.
Rock of
crazy
Gibraltar.
things.
So beautiful. Ah!
Well, also people fight over it.
Rock.
The true enemy the whole time was religion.
Boy. Okay, maybe the Rock's like a diamond. Maybe people were fighting over like, like something like that.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a diamond. Like a gem of some kind.
Yeah.
What about? Is there something in one of the Uncharted games about like an artifact, like a diamond artifact?
Right, and religion would make sense in those games too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, you ready for the third one?
Let's go for the third one.
Yet. Make everyone an amputee. This is Assassin's Creed.
It's got to be,
because you cut the finger off.
Cut your finger off.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Assassin's Creed.
It's got to be Assassin's Creed.
Which one?
I think Assassin's Creed 1 because I don't think they cut the fingers off post Assassin's Creed 1. I think that was a change. Let's see. Answer below.
Creed.
Dead Space.
Oh,
make everyone an shit.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So explain this all again. Religion? How is it religion?
So the Rock sure does make you crazy. The true enemy this whole time was religion, and make everyone an amputee. The last one is because you're cutting people's arms off.
Yeah, right.
The enemy the whole time was religion. I don't know. I didn't finish Dead Space.
Color me shocked.
Yeah, it was too scary.
Yeah.
And I have a history of not finishing games.
Yeah. Double whammy.
Wow. I'd have to look up more of the story, but that, you know what? I almost could have gotten that on the amputee thing itself if I wasn't so convinced that it was Assassin's Creed.
Most things are Assassin's Creed in your brain.
Excuse me, I'll go jump into this bale of hay.
No. I was wondering why you have a loose bale of hay around here. I'm like, do you have a horse? Uh-oh.
Oh, Andrew.
Damn it.
Ride like the wind, bullseye.
You're a good podcast.
Nay.
Oh, that's a good way to go on this episode. Well, Mikey, any more thoughts about The Lion King?
Dad, if you're listening.
Oh boy, no.
Not the time. Not the time.
You know, you've also said he does not listen to this.
I know, but maybe he doesn't tell me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
that be great the whole time you're like, and I just want to say, Dad, I love you. That's the way you ended every episode. And like one day he'll listen. Like one day. I will say, so next week, our episode, like we talked about, is going to be our 10 favorite things. It's one of our favorite episodes that we do all year. It's actually a callback to Oprah. Does anyone remember who Oprah is anymore?
Yeah.
Where she just said her favorite things of the year and she gave away like candles and blankets and stuff like that and Uggs. But in this one, it was just that everything's so negative and we love talking about our favorite things. And that could be anything. It could be, I loved my dog this year. I like this podcast. I like this music. And it could be video games, movies, television, like that too as well. So I'd love to see, before we get into next week's episode, what you loved this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we would love to hear about that. We'll retweet some of them. We'll shout out some people and stuff like that as much as you can. So tell us what your favorite things of the year was so we can talk about our favorite things.
Love that idea. Let's do it.
There we go. And until then, we love every single one of you. And we can't wait to talk to you soon. My name is Andrew Bascom. And with me, as always, is the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop himself,
Mikey Aaronworth.
This is the Retrograde Podcast.
I love you. Game over.
That is funny. I love you, Dad, and Game Over right next to each other.
I don't see the relationship between me and my father getting any better.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
You're a fucking weirdo. You know that?